I recently posted a Cyclone Scion build, and I wanted to upgrade it. I wanted to get more speed, more movement speed. I wanted to get more attack speed. I wanted to get where I could essentially farm flawless Breachstones, was the idea. So here we're running a flawless, I almost said pure Yolnatal. So used to pure being the high one. But the flawless Breachstones, you have these unpredictable mods, and then you have these predictable mods. More monster life everywhere. You have temporal change, which slows you down. This is, of course, sped up footage. I just didn't want to, like, just slowly run through this. But I farmed a few of these, and you'll see why. I kept trying to get the amulet. I kept trying to get Yolnatal's amulet.
Can I not have but a moment's respite?
So, now we're going to run at normal speed to show what the boss fight looks like. It's not super optimized. Of course, there's different setups one can do to really just optimize yourself for one type of content. You can just be an uber boss killer. You can just be a general boss killer, right? You can be a farmer where you like running delirious maps, tier 16. You can be a setup where you want to be able to do simulacrums. Really, you want to customize builds based on what you really like running. In fact, Palestrin, I believe is how you pronounce his name, Palestrin, great YouTuber, recently posted a video that inspired me. He talked about, hey, don't just make an all-around build. That's generally what I do, especially at League Start, but it's better to optimize your build, optimize your setup for what you like to run, because then you'll be better at bossing or better at just mob clear. All in all, though, of course, this whole setup was designed to push my DPS and get my speed up. So I kept getting red trails. That's what I got here. I'm going to show a few. I ran this a few times. I recorded it. Got red trail multiple times. These cost about 130C each to buy, the flawless Breachstones. One of the video comments on the build guide that I had posted in the past, very helpful, talked about why don't you take advantage of a totem, a Val Ancestral War Chief, or an Ancestral Protector. I went with Ancestral Protector because it gives even more attack speed, and then with Berserk, and then with Val Haste, it's much more comfortable. The build still has a lot of tankiness, lost a little bit, lost Punishment as a curse. I do miss having that. But it still works. It is still an all-arounder. But now we can run most content. I haven't tried it on a lot of the super endgame Uber content. Now I want to showcase another fight, the Formed. The Formed is great because you get to fight all of the Shaper Guardians at once, Minotaur, Phoenix. I made a big mistake here because you're supposed to dodge Phoenix's Shockwave with your movement skill. You should never tank that unless you're just really tanky. Unless you're a crazy 100 Divine build setup. But especially with Minotaur simultaneously, I should have dodged that. That was a mistake. But regardless, we have more monster life, we have crit damage from our enemies, and relatively easily, even with the mods, we can still run the Formed, the Twisted, and so on. I think Elder Slayers do. This actually has better DPS than my Holopalm version of my old Scion Holopalm. This actually beat it out, so this is a significant upgrade from what it used to be. I'll showcase that at the end. Doesn't melt them, but again, it's an all-arounder. Blue filter's working as intended. Still fine-tuning blue filter. So it's still utilizing Atziri's Disfavour, which is great for the increased quality of supports. And then we want to take advantage of more physical on our explicits as well as quality. Awaken melee physical damage support, Cyclone, anomalous cast on crit for the more attack damage quality, infused channeling, and then we replace Pulverize with increased critical damage support. We're really working on our crit and our double damage to scale this. Vulnerability on our helm, Eldritch Implicit. Since we don't have Blasphemy support anymore at all, we can now put in our Divergent Ancestral Protector. That way we don't have to cast multiple totems, we just cast one because of the increased area of effect of the melee damage we get from it. Big upgrade to my body armor. Still has the curse, additional curse, but now has increased effect of non-curse auras. And just raw crit. This is where we put now Val Haste, level 4 Enlighten, Determination we have, Anomalous Precision, we got it up to level 20, used to be level 2. Dread Banner, we never bother placing it, we're thinking about Berserk, we're thinking about our totems, we're thinking about our dodging. Don't want to think about it. Level 1 Vitality, because our new tree. I took a hard right at Saratoga from the Scion starting point, grabbed attack speed, and then we put our Watcher's Eye here. Life per enemy hit with Vitality, and then double damage with Pride. We have a lot of sources of double damage. The other is this Lethal Pride, this very particular one, 17,000 something. In order to get lots of strength, as well as double damage, melee crit chance, melee damage nodes. All these supplements to this radius here. Increased armor, we grab Lust for Carnage now for more attack speed. We replace this part of the tree, got rid of it. Got rid of this part of the tree, didn't want to. Had to lose Butchery, but had to get rid of something. And now Lust for Carnage is inside that radius. New section there. Same large cluster jewel. In a perfect world again, evasion would be life. Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh, so that we can be a champion, Juggernaut, Saboteur. So that we have extra accuracy, we have chill immunity, we have stun immunity. Provocateur we add. We now have pressure points, even more double damage, more crit. Added on that whole node. Or, excuse me, medium jewel. Champion fortifies, as well as taunts. Got all of these here, these masteries. Went up this way through Destroyer, so that we could also then grab Art of the Gladiator. Grab Bravery on the way, of course. Master the Arena. A little bit more radius of effect. Champion of the Cause, and then Mana Reservation Efficiency on our helm as well. Had to replace the gloves. This could be Hands of the High Templar, but I went with Vulnerability on Hit, since we no longer have Blasphemy support. Put some resistances in life. Had to get rid of our old gloves, which were very good. I didn't want to replace my rings, though. I did not want to lose the Chaos Ring with the channeling, or my Power Charge Ring with this pretty good setup. Lots Coils with Pride implicit. Same boots. I love these boots. This is where we have our mark. This is where we put our dash. Still have Culling Strike on our Ice Golem. And then we could put Arrogance on Pride because Pride is free. Pride is free because of our new amulet, Ael's Uprising. Put Sovereignty so that we could get all these curses. Haste, Determination, level 20 Precision, low level Vitality, and so on. So we had to get Sovereignty. Here's our flasks. As I was recording, I realized I never qualityed this flask. The whole league. I just forgot the whole league. Because our Chaos Res is like 7%, we take Shikari, and then we get our freeze immunity. And then we have really good Fizz reduction, even without the Fizz reduction on our old armor. Had to sacrifice a little bit of Ellie Res, but it's still pretty decent. So, it's a comfortable setup. I could scale damage even more, but I don't want to. I don't want to be Glass Cannon. So we cast these two here. Steel Skin I put here, it's on our left click. That way it gets activated a bit more. Want to constantly hit Val Haste. Much better movement speed. And then Berserk. How do we get Rage? I would love to have Rage on my Atziri's Disfavour. It would be so difficult to get that setup going. That'd be such a difficult axe to make. But I get it the same way as before. Axe Mastery. So with all of our flasks active, we're breaking 17 million full DPS. Much better. The old setup was about 5.5 million. Really good effective hit pool. And then without the flasks, even though we're tapping flasks all the time, it looks like this. It's still decent.